I know. This is my protocol.
I'm trying to find and figure out how I'm scheduled.
Okay. Jerry D. I didn't think that was fun. She just that. Yeah.
So that he can try to sneak out. Actually, I have it down now.
Here.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm good.
Yeah, I had two. I had a 12 and I know, because I did it last week.
He's wearing an arm and drag.
She brought from one side, I got routed into the elevator.
Converged.
Yes.
He assured me yesterday it wouldn't be a problem.
Taking our photos for you to walk over.
My daughter mentioned we have her learning support to 5 all day, which I'm super happy with. I sit next to her, I'll get in trouble.
Everybody does.
It doesn't take them long to figure it out. I can't even imagine.
Maybe like that, you know.
2 days after it's only outside. They have dogs. And they're running real estate. And the older I get, the smarter I get. Yep.
No.
I don't even know why they have to go away. Between the two places. Well, I have back and forth. You know, it's so funny. He actually talked to me about just like on an airplane, not out of the And then the next thing he talked about is, well, maybe a boat. You know, maybe a boat just going up and down coastline. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. We talked about that, but it's like, okay, well, nothing will surprise me what he does. Every time he tells me he's doing something new, it scares me. Yeah. Oh, no, they weren't there when we first. It's on your agenda. Did you not see it?
I still have probably. Oh, yeah, okay.
See it?
You? I didn't recognize you put your mask on. And your hair's a lot longer. How are you? I'm on a hibernation. I'm on a hibernation. I did. What are they gonna do without Marie? I don't know. He kept those ladies in line. She did, yeah.
That seems to be the norm, doesn't it?
But neither was sure that They're looking at him like this.
He's up to He said they're fine. He doesn't think I keep track of something.
Well, we've kept track. There is an argument to keep track of 64 years. Right?
He doesn't track.
We're up here sharing a moment. Son?
Yep.
We're up here sharing a moment. Yesterday was Commissioner Marabito's birthday. So we're up here teasing him, saying this is his birthday present when it actually is not.
Said what about chopped liver or something?
Okay, please rise for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Heavenly Father, we gather today to perform the task on behalf of the country. We pray that we will be of unity and mind that pleases you, Lord. We want to be a community of peace and not division, a community of love and kindness and not hate, a community of giving and not selfishness. We pray for our youth today as they are struggling through this crisis. As they see much of their activities and dreams being canceled, help them to stay strong. We pray that this enemy will leave us soon so that we can begin to return to our lives. We pray for continued strength for our businesses and residents of our county. And Lord, guide us and protect us. These things we humbly ask in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Convene the Commissioners' meeting at this time. Ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I move to approve.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Public comment on agenda items only at this time. Good hearing none.
We have a retirement award to present today. Maurice Burden. His years of service, March 29th, 1993 to August 14th, 2020. And Stephanie Tribble was gonna.
Morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for recognizing Maurice today as he celebrates his upcoming retirement. He actually began with the county in March of 1993, and of all those 27 years with the county, he spent all of them with the Domestic Relations Office. And out of all of his clerk duties, I have to say that he has weathered thousands of phone calls, walk-ins to the Domestic Relations Office, and keeping in mind that many of those that he spoke to were very angry and emotionally charged. But he's taken those demanding situations in stride and has always maintained his professionalism. He's also a wealth of information to not just his coworkers, but to his supervisors. He is our financial guru within the office, dealing with all of our financial situations. Could be from getting a correct wage attachment to an employer to a complex issue regarding an IRS intercept, a state intercept. Payments that go on hold, he looks at those every single day to try to get those resolved, and even overpayment issues. So I'm certain that I speak not just for myself, but for the entire staff of the Domestic Relations Office, that Maurice is going to be surely missed. He's always upbeat in his attitude, and I think we're all going to miss seeing Maurice bounce around the office with his earbuds on, humming a tune. Maurice, I'm going to miss those pop quizzes. So thank you for your service to the county and to domestics. And I do know that Tina would like to say a few words too on behalf of Maurice. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
For the last 21 years, I have worked with Maurice Burton. For the last 18 of those years, I have had the honor and privilege of being his supervisor. When I came to work for domestic relations, I knew nothing about the world of child support. 3 short years later, I became a supervisor of 9 people I barely knew and doing a job I knew very little about. Maurice was one of those people. Maurice was one of those people I was now going to supervise. My main worry, how do you supervise someone when you don't even know what they do? But in true Maurice fashion, he didn't hold my experience and lack of knowledge against me. He took me under his wing and taught me so much more than I could ever teach him. Maurice's knowledge of the Pennsylvania child support financial system is unparalleled, and I will miss our financial discussions. Sometimes it seems we have a language all of our own. Maurice has been through many changes in his career. He has went from a job that was all financial reporting and checks to a customer service representative that is scheduling hearings and conferences, processing bench warrants and vacates, answering clients' telephone calls and questions. He has learned to cover our front desk and reception clerk duties and so much more. He has seen the Pennsylvania statewide collection and disbursement unit come into being, and after that, the KidStar system we now use to process over-the-counter payments. He started his career with the AS400 and dot matrix printers, which, for those younger in our office, you can ask him what that is. And is ending it having to switch back and forth between ePaces and Equate and using a multifunctional printer, copier, scanner, fax machine. The job he is leaving on Friday isn't even remotely close to the job he started so many years ago. Thank you, Maurice, for taking all those changes that have been made in stride and for being willing to go along with them, and also for dealing with some of my crazy ideas. I also appreciate and will miss your honesty when those crazy ideas of mine weren't working and you let me know it. Maurice is my right-hand man. Among other things, he is the person who I could always depend on to help me work through problems, get areas of my job done when I was out for more than a day, and take the lead on getting new customer service reps up and running. Thank you for being so dependable and dedicated. There are many things I'm going to miss about Maurice, but here are just a few. His impromptu singing and dancing when a good song came on the radio. There's no doubt where his son Deshaun got his talent. Him shining his shoes, because Maurice always likes to look good. His long slurps of coffee, because we both understand how important it is in the morning. And back when he was my only male clerk, his little cough of or an I'm right here, when the female conversations in the clerical area were heading in a direction that was a little more than office talk should be. Maurice deserves for me to stand here and recount all of his accomplishments over the last 27 years, but we don't have that much time, and no one wants to hear me talk that long. So I will end by saying thank you, Maurice, for being not only an outstanding, dedicated, dependable, and knowledgeable employee, but for most of all, being someone who has been there for me professionally and being there for my personal joys, celebrations, and misfortunes. You are going to be greatly missed, but we wish you nothing but happiness for this next step on your journey. Congratulations, my friend. Take care, stay safe, be well, and most importantly, don't forget to put the coffee in the coffee maker. It will make the hot water taste so much better. Thank you.
Maurice, would you like to say anything?
No, I'm fine. I just want to thank the county for having me.
Well, thank you. I don't think you ever had a bad day. At least if you did, you never showed it, because I often crossed your paths on break and in the hallway. You always had a smile on your face. You had your earbuds in. You were bebopping and listening to some music. And, you know, you had a tough job. And the people that come into family court, domestics, a lot of times they do get angry. And I believe you're the direct result of a lot of times de-escalating people's emotions and keeping people calm. Because that's who you are. You have a calming nature about yourself. And it's easy to befriend you and like you because you're just that type of personality. And again, it shows you how county employees are family. You hear your supervisor's voice get all choked up, and you're back there wiping your eyes. That's what's special about working in the county. You know, it's family, and you develop those relationships. And like I said last week when we had some other people move on, and we talked about celebrating some employees, you know, that when I talk to the retirees, that's what they miss the most. They miss the people they worked with and how special they were. So thank you for the years of service you gave the county, the public, and you will be missed immensely. Hope to see you at the retirement functions, and don't be a stranger. Stop in and say hello to everybody. Thank you.
So Maurice, I didn't really get to know you too well, although I tell you that I have heard your reputation when we were talking about the fact that you were retiring and people were praising you. And obviously those praises continued today. But to, as Commissioner Metzger said, to be able to take a situation that is fraught with anxiety for people, and those are our constituents, and to be able to take that situation and turn it into at least something that's hopefully positive, but if not positive, not so anxious, is a real gift. And to hear your supervisors speak of you the way they did, it's obviously a testament to your character, your integrity, and thank you for bringing that and sharing it with us for 27 years and sharing it with the people in this county. We wish you luck.
And what more can I say? I mean, your supervisor said it all. It was pretty heartwarming. So I wish you well in the future. I'm sure whatever you do, you'll be very successful at it. Thanks.
Okay, we have a gift here. It truly is not Commissioner Maravillo's birthday present. It's your gift for retirement, and we wish you the best if you come up and receive it. We'd love to get pictures, but due to COVID, we can't. So maybe you come back someday. We'll get pictures together when you're down visiting people.
Good luck on your retirement. Thank you.
Until everybody returns to work here and clears out 2/3 of the room. Have a good day, everybody.
What's the 2/3 of the room?
Take care, Mom.
Hey, you too.
Okay, Roxanne Greco has a lot, so I'm
Yeah,
just
she
gonna
does.
give the floor to you and let you take over.
Just say, okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Starting out with TDA changes on the TDA. Thank you. This is part of a reorganization that has been finalized. And so I believe there are 6 changes per that reorganization. In assessment, changing the Assistant Chief Assessor pay grade 8-9 to an Assistant Chief Assessor Director Tax Claim Bureau pay grade 8-9.
In the Prothonotary's office, changing 1 clerk 3, pay grade 4, to a clerk 4, pay grade 5. In the Prothonotary clerk of courts, changing 1 clerk 3, pay grade 4, to a clerk 4, pay grade 5. In the Prothonotary clerk of courts, changing a data entry operator legal, pay grade 4, to a clerk 4, data entry, pay grade 5. In the Prothonotary's office, eliminating 1 full-time clerk 1, 2, pay grade 2, 3. And in the Prothonotary clerk of courts, changing 1 full-time clerk 3, pay grade 4, to 1 part-time clerk 3, pay grade 4.
Okay, any comments on the TDA actions?
So this is a great reorganization that actually was initiated and discussed last year and precipitated by Mr. Tom Heap, who I see in the front row here, decision to run for the Prothonotary. And when he made that decision and he recommended to us certain changes in how we dealt with both issues of tax collection and issues of the Prothonotary's office, both from the criminal side and the civil side. And as a result of those recommendations, we were able, and actually him getting elected Prothonotary, we were able to eliminate his position as the chief collection person, which saved the county upwards of, I think, $90,000 between or more. Right, Tom? I see you in the front row.
Not in pay.
Not in pay, no. In pay and in benefits. Yeah, right. For anyone watching this now, for paying and benefits. But and what it also did is it put work on other people. It put additional responsibility on other people, and it put work on other people in different places. And we've had a policy in the county that we want to try to get to have people take more responsibility and reward them with more money, because when we do that, if we're able to also eliminate positions, we save on pensions and on health care benefits. And that's what this TDA action is about. So although you don't see it written here, there's an elimination of a very important position, which was Tom's position, because we actually dealt with that at a prior meeting.
Correct.
Right? And we also eliminated a full-time clerk position, and I'm sure my colleagues can go into all the details on some of the rest, but I think it's difficult in these times when we have a lot of people in the community who are struggling, but we're also trying to maintain morale and maintain an organization that paints a picture for people of where they can be in the future. So you have someone like Maurice, who's here 27 years, who's able to do an incredible job because we have longevity and we're not having to train people. So for us as elected officials, it's striking a balance between making sure that we have a workplace that both challenges people to be as productive as they can and rewards them so that they will be able to take on that responsibility. So anyway, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to move to approve these changes. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not salary board.
It's not.
Oh, it's not salary board.
No,
I'm
it's the
sorry.
TDA actions.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
Well, so don't we need to do that though for the TDA? Don't we need to approve the TDA
You
action?
need a motion to.
Yeah, that's what I said. I just made a motion. I was looking to the controller's office to make the motion because I usually.
You're making a motion?
I'll move them. Approve the
I'll
TDA.
second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now on the personnel actions.
Moving on to personnel actions. Some of these are outright movement, promotions, and then others will be part of the reorganization. At the prison, Justice J. Prillish, full-time replacement promotion, intake officer, pay grade CO1, $19.37 an hour, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the Prothonotary's office, Sharon L. Green, full-time replacement promotion, clerk 4, pay grade 5, $16.53 hourly, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the Prothonotary's office, Dale E. Shank, Full-time replacement promotion, clerk 3, pay grade 4, $15.40 hourly, effective August 23rd, 2020. In assessment, Brooke E. Wright, full-time reorganization, change in rate, chief assessor, pay grade 10, $61,463.15 annually, effective August 23rd, 2020. In assessment, Mark J. Anderson, full-time, and this is reorganization, change in rate and title, assistant chief assessor, director of tax claim bureau, pay grade 9, salary $51,368.17 annually, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the treasurer, Carol A. Johnston, full-time reorganization, change in rate, she's the deputy, pay grade 7, salary of $45,043.45 annually, effective August 23rd, 2020. Also in the treasurer, Penny J. Cummings, full-time reorganization, change in rate, she is a deputy, pay grade 7, $37,985.94 annually, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the treasurer's office, Carrie L. Stein, full-time reorganization, change in rate, clerk 3, pay grade 4, $16.33 an hour, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the treasurer's office, Catherine A. Zay, full-time reorganization, change in rate, clerk 3, pay grade 4, $15.55 hourly, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the pathonetary's office, Elizabeth J. Burkhart, full-time reorganization, change in rate, title, grade, and job code, clerk 4, pay grade 5, $15.39 an hour, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the pathonetary clerk of courts, Ashley R. Woolley, full-time reorganization, change in rate, title, grading, job code, clerk 4, pay grade 5, $16.02 an hour, effective August 23rd, 2020. In the pathonetary's office, clerk of courts, Holly L. Thomas, full-time reorganization, change in rate, title, grade, and job code, clerk 4, data entry, pay grade 5, $21.39 hourly, effective August 23rd, 2020. Finally, at the prison, Lacey J. Swain, full-time lateral move, change in title and job code, correctional officer Rover, pay grade CO2, $21.6685 an hour, effective August 23rd, 2020.
Okay, so I'll elaborate on what Commissioner Marabito had started to discuss. We ask department heads and elected officials to try to restructure and reorganize the best they can. And as an elected official, it's a little easier, especially when you come into office, to really evaluate stuff and decide how they want to do it, than just a regular department head who has other supervisors over them and have to go through them. So it's a little bit more difficult for those individuals before they present it to the commissioners. But with Ryan Gardner, he did this with the DA's office in the beginning of the year. Restructured his office, reorganized it, saved the county some substantial money. And Tom Heap did the same thing when he was elected as the pathonetary's office. He had a vision. He came to us, said, I want to hold off a little bit until I decide what I truly need. He talked to the other departments that it was going to affect. Cindy Newcomer, who's our new treasurer, and some of the other departments of the reassessment. And what he found over a 6-month period was that there was 3 full-time positions with legacy costs that could be eliminated. Tom's original position as the chief clerk of the collections office was responsible for collection of the cost and fine monies and county tax revenues for 26 municipalities or districts. They also collected taxes for 6 school districts. Tom's position initially, when he was in that, was reevaluated twice, and he was granted more money because they added additional responsibilities that he incurred as the department head of that department. Very, very busy office. So when his position, we eliminated that through this. It was a salary that was set this year of $77,000 $875.62, with an estimated benefit package of $50,074.02. So that was completely eliminated. One of the positions also that was changed was from a full-time clerk 3 to a part-time clerk 3. That saved $14,451.75 in salary and an estimated $17,625.76 in benefits. The third position, the other full-time position, was eliminated as a clerk salary. That's $23,167.35 and an estimated benefit package at $14,896.61. So you add all these positions together, and the savings of the eliminated positions in salary was $115,494.72 in salary, and $82,596.38, totaling $198,091.10 of savings. The elimination of these three positions have placed additional duties on other departments that were not part of their original department duties. Reassessment now received the delinquent taxes. The Treasurer's Office acquired the collection of county and school taxes. The Pathonetary's Office had additional duties that were distributed between their staff and the Clerk of Courts. Due to those reassigned duties, and because the reorganization and restructuring of this department, it affected 9 individuals directly with impacted additional duties. And Ms. Grieco highlighted those on the personnel actions. As a result of that, $19,474.07 will be distributed to their salaries. Through this reorganization, the county is eliminating 3 full-time positions with legacy costs that would increase yearly. Those savings through this reorganization have the bottom line savings of $178,617.03 to the county. I would like to thank Tom Heap for taking a hard look and finding a creative way to save the county money. I also want to thank the other departments for their efforts and their increased duties. Whenever the county can reduce full-time positions with legacy costs and has significant savings while delivering the services, is a winning combination for everyone.
So one of the things that we should note also is that the employees have been doing this for 8 months of this year without any compensation. They have done it cheerfully, especially with the tax collection. It was very new for all the folks involved, and for assessment, for Mark Anderson to be doing something new, and Tom for reorganizing. So we appreciate the fact that even though we were not able to get to this with everything going on earlier in the year, because it's actually a discussion that's been going on since January, they continued to pull the oars on the boat and move ahead. The other thing that the public should understand about saving the legacy costs. See, when we have someone on our health care, it isn't just what we pay for the premium. Statistically, any number of people are going to have a very serious illness. So every time we eliminate that risk, we save the taxpayers' money. Of course, we save the money that Chairman Metzger mentioned in terms of the premiums and things like that. But we also reduce the bigger risk to our taxpayers of having that. So that's a good thing, and it's really a tribute to the new elected officials like the treasurer. And Mark, although you're not elected, and Brooke Wright, all the folks, as Chairman Metzger said, who have stepped up to the plate to make this work. So we're very excited.
I just go back 2 years ago when Commissioner Maravito requested that we eliminate 20 positions. And I did not vote for that at the time because, well, it's 2 years now and it's like a blink of the eye. But we left it in the hands of the department heads and some other people. And eventually it worked. Okay, they did take a look, you know, from the DA's office to the Donatary's office, treasurers, planning, and all these departments were looking at ways. We still have some, you know, ways to go yet, but I would like to reiterate what my two colleagues said, and I want to thank Commissioner Maravito for the vote. But there were a lot of people that stepped up to the plate at the beginning of the year. And, you know, it's not, I'm not sure if they did it with open arms and, you know, cheerful about it, but I will say this, they did it. And it took a lot more time out of their schedules, and even in the evenings where they weren't necessarily getting paid. So we thank you for your dedication. We appreciate you understanding the position that the county was in with COVID, and we try to be fair to all the employees. And I think this is a win-win for the taxpayers and for the county.
You know, we saved $178,000 to these efforts, and we have a ways to go. There's other areas that the IP studies, we go on with that in phase 2. We know of you know, situations where we have clerks making more than deputies. In some situations, we need to adjust things. So we will continue to attack this and balance it out and save money for the taxpayers in the long run.
So one of the difficult things is that as commissioners, we are not in the weeds, hopefully so much that we know exactly how every department runs. But what we do know is that we need to try to push efficiency. In the private sector, that would be our competitor who is nipping at our heels, and if we don't change the way we operate, they will put us out of business. So we three have to be the force that pushes efficiency and pushes the idea that we can still maintain good jobs with good health care, good pension, good pay, but be efficient at the same time. And hopefully and Commissioner alludes to the vote today, is because I did have concerns with the situation that so many are facing. But I also know that we can't stop the ship because of this pandemic and what is obviously a tragedy in much of our private sector employment. But we do have to push ahead and continue to try to find ways, and hopefully this example that these folks took up and did will encourage other departments and elected officials to look at how they run their parts of county government and figure out how they can do it more efficiently. And if we do that, put some of the savings back into increased compensation for the workers. So it's true, we do have a ways to go, and we definitely want to try to do it when we're in a little bit better shape financially now than when things get bad. So thank you all.
Okay, I have a motion.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the personnel actions as read by the director.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried. This time we'll recess the Commissioners' public meeting and go to salary board actions.
Commissioners, we're asking you to approve the following as an update to our salary schedule. In assessment, changing the Assistant Chief Assessor, pay grade 8-9, to an Assistant Chief Assessor, Director, Tax Claim Bureau, pay grade 8-9. In the Prothonotari's office, changing one Clerk 3, pay grade 4, to a Clerk 4, pay grade 5. In the Prothonotary Clerk of Courts, changing 1 Clerk 3 pay grade 4 to a Clerk 4 pay grade 5. In the Prothonotary Clerk of Courts, changing a data entry operator legal pay grade 4 to a Clerk 4 data entry pay grade 5. In Prothonotary, eliminating 1 full-time Clerk 1, 2 at a pay grade 2, 3. And finally, in the Prothonotary Clerk of Courts, changing 1 full-time Clerk 3 pay grade 4 to 1 part-time Clerk 3 pay grade 4.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll reconvene the Commissioners' public meeting at this time.
Under informational items, Kristen McLaughlin, CDBG, CD final public hearing information.
Morning, Kristen.
Morning. So this is the final public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant CV funds, which is directly related to the COVID. It comes directly from the CARES Act, which has been a long time coming. And so we're finally able to have the final public hearing, and I'm just going to go down the list of projects that have been selected and then provide any opportunity for the public to comment. So in total, the county will be receiving $290,198. That includes both the county allocation, Jersey Shore Borough and Montoursville allocations. The county will be receiving specifically $166,152. And the following projects have been selected at your finalization the other week. And that is STEP Inc. Supportive Housing Program at $55,000. The American Rescue Workers Rent Mortgage Utility Assistance at $55,000. And I want to be clear that STEP and the American Rescue Workers will be providing the same type of service. We just are calling the STEP Supportive Housing Program, as that is what they typically call that. The Feeding Lycoming County Residents for the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, $19,776. And the North Central Site Services Assistance to the Visually Impaired, $19,776. And administration, $16,600. Jersey Shore Borough, it is listed in the advertisement for the legal notice for this hearing that this is Jersey Shore Borough Assistance. That is because we were unsure that we didn't have an official vote at the time as to what they wanted to fund. We do have that now. They will also be funding the American Rescue Workers and STEP in the same vein that the county is. And the American Rescue Workers will be in the amount of $27,791, and STEP at $27,792. So the difference is just $1. We essentially split what was left. And then the administration is $6,100. They are receiving in total $61,683. Montoursville Borough, also the same situation on Montoursville Borough Assistance. They are receiving in total $62,363. Montoursville Borough has allocated them as follows: Borough Building Glass Partition. And then under the Montoursville Borough Assistance, $23,082 will go to STEP, and $23,081 are going to the American Rescue Workers, and then administration at $6,200. We will not be acting on the resolution today. That will be on the 25th. And there will be 2 resolutions. The first one is essentially the same as your annual entitlement resolution, which says that you do want to submit the application to the state, as well as that it allows the chairman of the board to sign all of the signature documents for that application. And secondly, there will be a fair housing resolution, which is also something that you always have to act on every year. And that is to reiterate the counties and OBO municipalities that fair housing is important in the county, and that anyone who feels that they have been discriminated against in housing has a way to lodge a formal complaint on that. That is a requirement of the CDBG program, but because you receive federal money, but it goes well beyond anything related to CDBG. For example, real estate agents can't discriminate against, steer people of certain races or ethnicities to specific houses because of that, because they think that neighborhood is better for them for some reason. I can read that, but it probably makes sense to wait until that is taken action on the 25th. So at this time, I'd like to offer the public any opportunity to comment on the projects that have been selected or are being recommended for funding, and or any other CDBG related projects. Hearing none, we will again take action on the resolution on the 25th.
Okay, thank you. Thanks
you
for your
very
hard
much.
work. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move to action items. 7.1, Jerry Kennedy. Vote on agreement with Maleo Consulting for Cisco hardware and installation.
Morning, Commissioners. You have before you a purchase request for $44,128.86 via CoStars. We had a couple of vendors over the years, the last 2 years, propose a full replacement of our network core, and through our diligent checking of the facts, we've been able to pare this project down from the budgeted $150,000 to the $44,000 by replacing just a few components of our hardware, and thus extending the life for at least another 5 years before we have to go through a major overhaul.
Okay, well, you come in less than a third under what you budgeted, so that's awesome. Any discussion on this? A motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve the contract with Maleo.
I'll second.
All fair say aye. Aye. Thank you, Jerry.
Maya, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Maya.
Morning, Maya.
Good morning, everyone.
Maya has the next 4 items, so
Okay.
I'll let you take that, Maya.
Okay. The first item I have is the amendment to the lease agreement with ECAN, known as Environmental Consultants and Affiliates Network, which just to exercise their second one-year renewal option, which was effective July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021.
Okay, any discussion? Any motion to approve?
I move to approve.
All fair say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
The next agreement I have is with Enterprise Fleet Management. It's to sell the county surplus vehicles at wholesale auction. In the past, we were doing such already with Enterprise, and it was part of their maintenance program agreement. However, as part of new procedures on their end, they have actually separated it out, and now are requesting that a consignment auction agreement be acted on. I want to let you know there are some things we're still working out with regards to the terms and conditions. That's being negotiated. So I want to make it contingent upon approval by Enterprise as well as solicitor review once I get everything hammered out.
Okay, any discussion on this?
Maya, I noticed that they have a fee of $275 for selling. Did they charge us a fee in the past?
Yes, they have. In the past, that's always been the norm, is that they charge us just, that cost. It's a fee that they have for the handling portion of it, because they do all the title work and all that associated with it. So that basically covers those costs.
Okay.
As well as coming out to get the vehicle. The biggest issue that we were looking at that I'm negotiating is that power of attorney section. We typically don't agree to those terms and conditions, and I'm not sure if Dave's there today, if Rick might, but
Would it help if we didn't do this today and we waited for them to understand that we don't normally do the power of attorney?
well, they're aware of it. unfortunately, what's happened is just due to COVID, everyone and all of their people, they have to work through different departments within their team to work on it. So it's just a delay in the process. They don't have an issue with it. It's just the fact of getting it out of our contract in order to get it executed. And it's just taking longer than usual because they're all working from home.
Okay. I'll move to approve the enterprise agreement contingent on changes that will be made by our solicitor in conjunction with Ms. Toon's negotiations.
A second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
The next item I have is just a list of approved contracts that were approved by the Director of Administration for the months of May, June, and July. For the month of May, we had 14 contracts. For the month of June, we had 4. And for July, we had 3.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And the very last agreement I have is with Paul Albert Architect. That's to provide the architectural design and engineering services for the property at 2107 Cummings Creek Road, which is the new location for FDJ Solomon. It's in the amount of $44,200.
Okay, any discussion on this? Okay, now can I have a motion?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Thank you, Maya.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner comment?
Yeah, I have a couple comments. First, getting back to the reorganization, you know, we have to understand that the decisions that elected officials make, whether it be local, city, county, or state, federal, have long-lasting effects. And in this particular case, you know, I'll be here 10 years. It's hard to believe I'll be here 10 years at the end of this year. And it seems like a blink of an eye. But just how Tom and the rest of the departments reorganized, if you look out over 10 years, we have saved the county $1,591,000. That's significant money. So reorganizing is something that we have to always keep in the back of our mind whenever we can see that opportunity. Last night I attended a Taverns Association meeting, and through that meeting, because of some of the restrictions that are placed on that industry, as well as all businesses, they're a resilient group of people. I heard the word innovation, creativity, and tough decisions. You know, it is difficult for many of the business owners now, and they had to try to be creative by the restrictions that were placed on them with seatings, 6 feet apart, capacities, but they're all struggling. And one of the biggest issues that we face as a country is fear. And how did we get to fear? How did we get so close? And how did we get that 60% of the people are fearful, really fearful of this? Some of us don't think it's that big of a deal, and others do. And, you know, we look back and reflect, and we even see it in our own paper today. You know, we have 400 cases. Well, do we have 400 cases?
I think not. And so we see the 30 deaths. I look back at Union County that was just placed on, I'm not sure what list it is, but the increase of COVID cases in their county is going to lead them into another, restrictions. And here all those cases were in the federal prison. Is that fair? How is it being reported? Okay, and that's critical. So, last night I said we need to have a Paul Harvey moment. And let's tell the rest of the story. And we need to tell the rest of the story because of the 400 cases that are in our county that are reported. Well, what is the status of those people? How many of those 400 were incarcerated? I mean, not incarcerated, but hospitalized. How many were placed on respirators? How many, what's the capacity now at the hospital? Do we have anybody committed to the hospital with this disease? No, we don't. We do not know those numbers. And once we can start to tell those numbers, maybe we can let this fear subside a little bit and get back to some type of normalcy. I'm not buying it. Okay, I agree. It's pretty bad for a number of people. All right? But I'm not buying all this restrictions and seeing what it's doing to our country and to our businesses. If we have no business and they're folding by the day, okay? But we're not reporting it. If we have no businesses and no jobs, where the hell are we going to be by December? When we have an employee that there's 2 employees, husband and wife, that work here, and their child got sick. Our policy is don't come to work. You need to quarantine yourself for 14 days. There's 2 incomes that are lost. Or there's the FMLA that they worked so hard to gain. Or their vacations that they're taking off, only to find out 12 days later that she tested negative. These are consequences. And these have devastating effects. And they're going to have even worse effects when the cold and flu seasons arrive. Because everybody's going to be afraid to go to work. Now, how is business supposed to stay alive? How are they supposed to thrive? How are you supposed to get a paycheck? We need to start telling the rest of the story. And hopefully tomorrow we will sit in an executive session with the chamber to discuss this and get some partnerships built up with UPMC and Geisinger so that they can tell their story as well. It's not all negative. Okay, how many people are asymptomatic? Asymptomatic means they don't even know they have it. I assure you, you know when you have a cold and when you have the flu, but you don't know that you have COVID. I wonder. So we are going to plan on holding press conferences. We haven't decided when or how many, but to report the other side of the story so that we hopefully can subside some of this fear in our community and in our state.
Mister, you have anything?
Oh, I don't think that
Okay.
here's what's very interesting. Let me just make one comment, Commissioner Massera. Manor Care, the nursing home chain, and I've reported on this before, the Director of Medical Services held a press conference in, I think, May, because they were having massive outbreaks in facilities. And they found from testing that 60 to 70% of employees and employees and residents were asymptomatic and they didn't know it. So the problem, even with Union County, is that although that may have been among the prisoners, the staff is going to the outside and coming in, going out and coming in. And that is what raises difficulty in this. I think that we have to find a way to balance being so fearful that we don't do anything with just being responsible and getting people to social distance, wear masks. I mean, in other countries of the world, they've been able to successfully do that. You know, why does it take 12 days, 14 days to get the test results? I mean, it's at the state and national level, they need to ramp up whatever, and you've described to me that it's the fluid that they use to do the test, that it's a different fluid. But you went to the White House, and you were tested, and you had the results back.
They have a lab there, Commissioner.
They have a lab, okay,
They have a
well,
lab there.
yeah, well, you know,
And
we...
if you're gonna see the president within a couple
No,
of
no, I
hours,
get that.
you need to have the results
I-
back immediately.
I get that, but what I'm saying is that if we want to get back to business, what we need to do is get, especially the federal government, which has the resources to focus on getting the testing out to the communities so that we can do it. We have labs here, right? We have lots of local, and you know what? When the gas industry came, those labs cranked up, and they were able to do what they needed to do. And so, I think that we got to try to focus on doing that.
And I'll just add to it is when you have a massive overload in any line of work, they can't keep up with it. Unemployment. The unemployment system was not geared to handle 40 million people unemployed at once. So you have a backload of 12 weeks till somebody might get a check. It's the same thing. There's been 61 million tests done in the United States. The labs can only go so fast. Some are quicker than others. But testing is getting done, and it may be some of these inaccuracies are because things are getting rushed so quickly. Because there have been reported inaccuracies. When the state of Florida says that they have a 98% increase in one area, when it was actually 9.8, that's a major flaw. So it does go on, and it can only handle so much. They're human people running these tests.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, yesterday Commissioner Massaro and I were having a conversation about why Taiwan was able to do so much testing, and you pointed out that part of the problem is that we don't, in this country, manufacture what we need, right? So we'll hopefully learn a lesson as a nation that sometimes going where the labor cost might be lowest is not necessarily the best solution. But I do think that we need to give confidence to our, there was some concerns about some of the discussion about the school districts and what was made. I mean, I think that the public needs to be confident that the school districts are doing everything they can to get people back to school safely. And I think as elected officials, we need to support those school districts, understanding that decisions with education are made at the local level. And, you know, some of the results of the survey were in the paper, but we need to, parents need to feel confident that people have been spending a lot of energy looking at this in the school districts. I mean, they didn't just, flippantly make a decision. They've been, the superintendents and the boards of directors of the school districts have been working very diligently to try to find a safe way. And so it probably will be for some a combination of remote learning and going to school, and we'll be able to get back to normal.
Well, I had on that subject, I had a person come up to me and tell me, if they're going to have online education, right, and one of our highest taxation rate is school districts, they're going to have online education, then why can't they have one algebra teacher for the 9 school districts and start saving some money? Because it's only going to get tougher. And it went on and on. We're all going to have to cut, and we're all going to have to sacrifice. And I think that gentleman made a very good point. It should be explored.
Okay.
Public comment this time. Ask if you do speak that you limit yourself to no more than 3 minutes on any particular item. Good morning. State your name for the record.
John Sharman, Jersey Shore. I will be asking the commissioners 2 questions after my comments. I think there are some things the public should know concerning the school openings and along with the coronavirus. I served 6 years on the Jersey Shore School Board. To me, the most important thing of the school director and the school district directors and the administration is to provide a safe, clean, healthy, working and learning environment for all employees and students in the district. This is what all 9 school districts in Lycoming County are doing with plans that have been submitted and approved by the state. From reading the article in the paper Saturday in the Sun Gazette, it would be nearly impossible for the districts to have all students attend their brick and mortar classes 5 days a week. Let's look at another aspect of all this. Schools, like many other businesses, are seeing big decreases in revenue. I have no doubt that the school districts are taking money out of their capital reserves to pay for PPEs for students, staff, and teachers. The bill for all the safety measures will be becoming due to the taxpayers next year when they have to refurbish or replenish their capital reserves. And they're also, the school districts will have to be coming up with money for annual pay raises. I would say that probably the taxpayers should be prepared for a big increase in taxes on the school district side. I'm aware of students and teachers and others who are wanting to get back to school. However, the parents of the children want this to be done in a safe manner. The same with the teachers. I would say if any county elected official has any other ideas on how the school districts should get their kids back to get kids in school for 5 days a week, should come forth with a plan, present their plans to the districts, and put it on the county website. Shouldn't be too hard to do, but it has to be a detailed plan, because I know a lot of what the expenses are in running a school district. Possibly more than what you people do, from my past experience with it. You know, like I said, if you have the ideas, bring them forth. You know, go to the school districts and that. But it is not the right time to criticize the school districts. I've been on that side of the fence before, and I have disagreed with what people have done in my school district. But I fully back them on what they're trying to do now and the pressure that they're under. And for the county official to say it's time to stand up and disobey the governor, Department of Health, that is totally unreasonable. It shouldn't be done. Because if you start disobeying what the governor and the state Department of Education laid down in the health, you are going to cost the district, those districts and the taxpayers within that district, a lot of money. And I'm sure the solicitor will back me on that, but because of him dealing with several school districts. You do not defy the state, because they will come in, they can pull they can pull credentials and they can cut your funding. So what that amounts to is telling the superintendents and the school boards that's committing civil disobedience. And what is being put in place by the school district is protecting the children and everyone. Okay? And there's not a low immunity. There's a high degree of diseases spreading through the schools, or whatever you want to call it, flu, infection, and all that. I know personally, I used to do Dr. Seuss Day reading with it. I've seen how kids get this stuff and how it can be spread. I had one of the worst cases of diarrhea I ever had from attending the school function for Dr. Seuss Day, and also one of the worst head colds I've ever had. And it has been in the last 2 weeks in this nation that 100,000 children are testing positive for the cases. So, with the safety measures that are being put in place by the school district, it's necessary. And if it saves one child, that's worth the cost. But to say that we have to get up and disobey the governor and what's put for us by the health department and all that is plain civil disobedience. It's what it is. And then in closing, I have two questions I would like to ask. What is, instead of criticizing the school districts and the school administrators, and what is, maybe the county should be reaching out to the school districts and saying, hey, what can we help you? What can we do for the coronavirus, help you with the coronavirus? Certainly there are actions I'm sure that the county can take. What is it? Is there a plan or anything? We've seen $155,000 given to the Chamber of Commerce, another $122,000 for personal protection gear for law enforcement and that, and another $37,000 for the sign of the golf course. So surely, instead of criticizing the school boards, who probably get more flack than what the county commissioners do, and they get paid nothing for it. And my second question is, will you, the county, give out a list of the domains or entities who received personal protection equipment that was purchased by the county for $122,000? Thank you. I will not debate anybody over it.
Okay, regarding your first question, we have reached out to school districts. We had a meeting with the superintendents approximately a month ago about internet capabilities. So we reached out to them, spoke to them about that, what their needs are. We discussed in detail with them. We received federal monies, CARES money, that we've reached out to the school districts to apply for some of that CARES money to help them with their PPE and other needs. And as they fill out their forms, that would be looked at by CDCOG, and it'd be recommended for approval or disapproval based on what their plan is. So we have reached out to them. No one is criticizing the school districts. They have a very tough job. However, when my phone rings from parents and teachers that say they want to be in the classroom 5 days a week and they want to be having their kids have a education in person, and they're concerned about their kids' social skills, they're concerned about their well-being because depression's setting in as their activities are being canceled, whether it be arts, whether it be music, whether it be sports, clubs. These kids will never have that chance back again in their life. It helps mold them to who they become. It makes them the person they will end up being. It's one of the factors along with their upbringing. So it's very important they have those activities and they're being canceled. And as each one gets canceled, it's harder and harder on the child. This is what's being expressed to me. Unfortunately, a lot of these kids, this is the best meal of the day for them. So the nutrition is being ignored. We saw what happened in the spring. The schools did not want to close down in the spring. The CDC did not recommend schools to be closed.
I don't care what
Excuse me, I'm
CDC
speaking.
recommended.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. You asked questions, I'm answering your questions, you had your time, and now I'm speaking. The CDC never recommended the schools to be shut down. The governor shut down the schools, and he kept them closed. He reevaluated every 2 weeks. He went on the advice of his Department of Health secretary, and they closed them down statewide. Okay? I understand very fully, because I speak on a regular basis to the superintendent where I live, how this is tied to state monies. And they can lose their certification. They can lose all kinds of state monies. And they understand that. And basically, they operate out of fear. They operate out of the fear that Commissioner Massar talked about, because the CDC has now put out guidelines to reopen schools nationally. And it's ironic that Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio also recommended schools to be open 5 days a week.
in a state that's been hit much harder than Pennsylvania. And they're going to reopen schools 5 days a week with the safety guards. And our schools can do it. Because you know what? In Lycoming County, almost all the schools, with the exception of a few, are going to reopen with the safety guards in place 5 days a week. 5 days a week. Okay? The governor says, I'm staying out of this. It's local school decisions. Yet he comes out last week and makes a recommendation that all sports are now canceled till January 2nd. I'm going to stay out of it, but I'm going to have press conferences to still influence things. So he puts pressure on the PIAA. Well, the PIAA did a smart thing. They said, we want to speak to the governor and we're going to hold off. So they're going to force the governor's hand. They're going to make him have to make the decision whether to close down the sports for the fall. And that's probably going to end up happening. But he was going to leave it up to the school districts. Just like the Department of Health said a couple weeks ago, we're not going back to the phase colors, the green, the yellow, the red. We're going to go by zip codes. We're going to address this by zip codes. That was on a Monday. Dr. Levine said that. Wednesday of that same week, we have a 25% decrease all across the board, across the entire state. Counties that were even increasing at all in infections, those restaurants are now from 50% down to 25%. We're back down to under 250 for capacity statewide, but we're going to go by zip codes, not by colors. We have a blanket statement across the state. Then Friday of the same week, the governor says the federal government must, not should or possibly, he must release $120 billion to rescue the restaurant business. So I'm going to mandate stuff after I tell people I'm not going to mandate it, and then I'm going to direct and tell the federal government to bail us out. Something's wrong with that picture. Something's wrong with that picture. So the school boards have a tough job. But the majority of them are going to try 5 days a week the best they can. And I find it ironic that they keep saying social distance is 6 feet. But if you look up on the website of the World Health Organization, it says 3.24 feet. 3.24 feet on social distancing. Yet everything from the state says 6 feet. So there's mixed signals everywhere. Everywhere. So that's the answer to your first question. Could you rephrase your second question again to me?
With what was purchased from the,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, okay.
for the county?
Yes, there will be a list. It could be. It went to every police municipality in this county. Every single one received equipment.
Okay.
Every single one. From Williamsport down to Muncie Township.
Okay.
Hughesville, all of them, Jersey Shore, they all received equipment. So it was not just for the sheriff's office, it went to every department in the county.
Didn't say that.
So we can release a list if you like. You can get it from the sheriff's department. What went to which department? That's not an issue. Okay, any other public comment this time? Hearing none, we've completed our agenda. We don't have a scheduled meeting at this time. There will be no meetings next week due to the CCAP virtual conferences that we are scheduled for. So our next scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, August 25th at 10 a.m. right here in the Commissioner's Briefing Room. Thank you and have a good day.
Did anybody